Howdy, and welcome to LeeReads, where I talk about the books I've been reading and enjoying lately. Finally back in front of my bookshelf for my winter season book haul. These are the books that I have either pre-ordered or spontaneously purchased since the fall. I want to start with the pre-orders. All of the books that I pre-ordered last year have finally come in. I got the very last one today. Some of these I ordered in conjunction with my dad because I've gotten him into these series and I was able to read e-arcs in advance. So he ordered the books, read them, and then gave them to me. One of those is System Collapse, the most recent Murderbot novella. Finally, also, we have The Fractured Dark, which is the second book in the Devoured Worlds trilogy. I really am enjoying this series. The first book actually came out earlier in 2023, so they're coming out in rather quick succession. That one is The Blighted Stars, which was one of my favorites from last year. The last two pre-orders that finally arrived are Young Adult, This Cursed Light, which is the conclusion to the duology, I'm pretty sure it's a duology, This Vicious Grace, which really took me by surprise. The writing, the depth of the emotion of the character, how she's dealing with the loneliness of her situation, made me really want to read the next book, so I'll be getting to this one soon. And then finally, another sequel, which is Ruthless Vows, sequel to Divine Rivals by Rebecca Ross. I think both covers are so beautiful with the typewriter keys there. Uh-oh, there's barely room on the shelf. But Rebecca Ross is becoming a new favorite author of mine. I have a little collection here. She wrote A River Enchanted and A Fire Endless, that duology. She has a lyrical writing style and is really great at getting to the heart of the story, but also winding magic through it all. And I also like that she does duologies. I also enjoy how she writes both adult and young adult. She's got some good variety there in her stories. On to spontaneous purchases. We're talking some series here. It's gonna be hard to hold these up, but I read and enjoyed The Diviners through audiobook last year. I didn't realize how thick a book it was, but when I finished the audiobook for The Diviners, I decided I wanted to have this on my shelf and I'd like to go ahead and get the entire series. And there are some really pretty special editions of these books out there, but they're too expensive for me, so I found some on eBay. The remainder of the quartet, and unfortunately it's kind of like the style between these two books and the other two, they don't totally match. This is a story following a variety of characters in 1920s Manhattan, like Prohibition era, and they are developing these special abilities. They're actually coming together incidentally because of some crazy arcane murders happening in the city that in the first book they work to solve that murder. And I think that trend kind of continues throughout the rest of the trilogy, but also the Diviners, the fact that they all have these abilities is going to be explored. Another eBay purchase, which I've mentioned these books before, is the Sacred Hunt duology, which is Hunter's Oath and Hunter's Death. I've spoken about Hunter's Oath before because this was a great older fantasy that I read within the past few months. I've really apparently been picking up a lot of duologies. I think that's like a satisfying amount of story. And if you like kind of an older style of fantasy, but it's not like Tolkien style, it's more modern than that with good characterizations and some really interesting plot dealings with time, but it's really kind of exploring the relationship between two main characters. I would really recommend that you try out this duology. At Half Price Books one day, I picked up Mystic and Rider by Sharon Shin. I read The Summer at Castle Auburn about a year or so ago, which is a young adult fantasy, and I really liked her writing style and the story she told, and I believe this is an adult story by her. Robin Hobb did one of the blurbs. Engaging characters, an intriguing plot, plenty of action, and unforeseen twists. Some fun backlist to explore. Then finally, some newer releases that I picked up at Barnes & Noble just because I went in the store to browse. Enchanted Hill, I just talked about this one on my recent wrap-up. It's a contemporary story. It's kind of investigation story. Like, the main character in it is an aspiring PI, and when she's on a job, she encounters someone from her past that is there also under false pretenses to find out information for his own ends. And because I can't resist witches or the idea of a possibly cozy read, The Witches of Bone Hill, I haven't read this one yet, but it's about two sisters that inherit their aunt's mansion. They have to go there, and they don't know why. There's so much secrecy around why they need to be there for the inheritance. The one sister wants to sell the place to help her deal with some financial issues she's having, but of course I don't think it's going to be as simple as that. And those are the books that I picked up this winter season. See anything here that you've read and enjoyed or that you're interested in, let me know. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, don't forget to support your local library.